What's going on, guys? It's Tim back at you again to bring you another video. And today I'm going to talk about different variations of movements that you need to focus on to build your chest. But before we get started, as usual, I'd like to ask you guys to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss another video. Also, be sure to comment down below what you guys want to see in the future. You guys have been great. This is almost wrapping up my first month with this channel, and we already have almost 60 subscribers. So thank you guys for all the support so far, and let's get started. So while this video will follow the same sort of format as the 4 exercises per muscle group series, there's a lot more variations of movements for the chest. So I'm going to be going over each of the variations, each of the styles you can do it, each of the angles, and basically it's going to come around to like 12 exercises. However, I will stick to 4 principles of training that you can use to build your chest in different ways with different exercises. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is building chest strength. You can build chest strength with any of the barbell movements. Now there are 3 barbell movements for the bench press, and that is obviously flat bench press as you see here. There's flat incline press and there's flat decline press. Each of these works a different angle of the chest. So if I could recommend an exercise for the chest that will build overall strength, that you can really focus on your numbers and having a periodized program that you can do week by week progressions for, it would be the flat barbell bench press. By periodized, I mean say like 6 sets of 4, 5 sets of 6, maybe 6 sets of 2, but it each varies week by week, and you take a percentage of the max and apply that to that workload. Of course, if you really want to, and I do this sometimes as well, when I'm rebuilding a movement, I do train this movement for high volume. And also, if you're going to do a couple chest days per week, I would say one day focus on the barbell bench press and one day focus on barbell incline or decline. And don't do the same sort of training style. Do strength on one of them, and then the next time you train chest, you can do high volume and really focus on hypertrophy. The same sort of thing does go for dumbbell exercises: dumbbell bench press, dumbbell incline, and dumbbell decline press. However, because we have one weight in each hand, we're able to make this movement a little less stable, therefore activating more stabilizers and really fully developing the chest like you see here. By performing dumbbell incline one hand at a time, we are really decreasing our overall stability during this portion of the movement, but we are increasing the stability of it when we do it normally with 2 hands at a time. Now, when I say one arm at a time, I don't mean just one dumbbell, although this is another alternative. What I mean by this is one of the dumbbells is already in the top position. It is holding an isometric contraction. The other dumbbell is going through the full range of motion, trying to mimic the exact path that both dumbbells would go. This is a lot harder than you would think. It's challenging on the core, and it really helps to fix imbalances in the chest and shoulders as well. Now, I say shoulders as well, but you don't want the shoulders to overtake the movement. Now, you see here when I do dumbbell incline with 2 hands, I keep my shoulders way back and I puff my chest as far forward as I can. The easiest cue, in my opinion, when you are teaching somebody how to do any sort of bench press, whether it be incline, decline, or flat, is not saying keep the shoulders back and retract the scapula, although this is a great way to put it, but a better, more understandable way to put it is to really puff the chest forward. The chest has to be the muscle that's the furthest forward in order to get the strongest contraction in the chest and to minimize shoulder involvement. Next up, we want to talk about really fully stretching out a muscle before returning it to its concentric contraction in order to fully develop the muscle. We can do that with a couple of variations of flies. You can do these with dumbbells, you can do these on the floor, which are much safer for the shoulders, or you can do it as I'm showing you here on the cables. Cable flies, in my opinion, are a great option for really training an eccentric or going for high volume and really trying to burn out those muscles. Now, we have a few different angles from which we can do the fly. For instance, right here, we come from the top angle down and squeeze below the chest, which really squeezes the lower portion of the chest, just like a dumbbell decline press would. And you also notice that I'm not pushing straight down like most people do when they do this exercise. A common mistake when doing a cable fly or a cable crossover is too much bend in the arms. However, if you keep your arms only slightly bent and kind of arc it down and then bring the contraction in front of your chest just below it and try to squeeze the elbows together, you'll get a much stronger contraction that is much safer for your shoulders. Another variation and angle that people don't commonly use is the low angle fly, where you bring the weight up from around your hips and squeeze it out in front of you, almost at shoulder level. You really, again, want to squeeze those elbows in front of you as hard as you can. That's going to give you the strongest contraction in the chest, while also puffing the chest as far forward as you can. And then returning back with a slow eccentric. This will really stretch out the pecs, really overload them as well, and keep the shoulders nice and safe the whole time. Although these are interchangeable, if I could recommend, what I like to do is I'll do the high angle fly for high reps, really burn them out, really keep my shoulders back the whole time. And I'll do the low angle flies, really trying to focus on the eccentric, maybe for lower reps to like 8 to 10 as opposed to 15. And really slow down the eccentric, really stretch out my chest as hard as possible, and also hold those contractions because these are very strong contractions. If you have trouble activating your chest, this is a great exercise to really get you feeling it, get you feeling the mind-muscle connection. And the last thing we can add to these workouts, whether it be a superset or a drop set, it would be a drop set for a press and a superset for a fly, is a push-up variation. The one that I'm showing you here is a decline push-up, where I keep my arms nice and wide and I come down nice and slow. This will really stretch out the chest on the way down a little bit more. Once I've done flies and presses, you'll really feel the stretch, especially if you keep your shoulders back like you're supposed to. And then when I return to the top, I fully lock out and I try to squeeze. I try to really fully extend my arms because at this point of the workout, it'll be pretty difficult. I'll be pretty fatigued. Now, doing a decline push-up is basically the same as doing a barbell incline press. This will work the top portion of my chest. However, if I really dive my chest down as if I'm trying to puff my chest forward during a press without really dipping my lower back, then I will get a much greater stretch as on the eccentric. While on the concentric, I might not feel as much in the rest of my chest, just the top portion of my chest. I'll still feel a good stretch in the rest of my chest on the way down. And again, this is just my variation of choice. You can do any sort of push-up you would like, as long as you try to keep it focusing on the chest. You don't want to do a handstand push-up for the shoulders, obviously. And you probably don't want to superset this with diamond push-ups or close grip push-ups unless you are working triceps that day as well. That wraps it up, guys. These are 4 good principles to add to your chest training to really switch things up and try to see new results when you do this. This kind of goes hand in hand with my last video about breaking out an exercise plateau, because here you see about 3 different variations per chest movement that you can do to switch things up. Switch from strength to high volume to even just focusing on the eccentric and really going for hypertrophy. Either way, the options are endless. You can do really whatever you want to switch up your training without sticking to the same thing and doing it over and over again. And this will keep you seeing good, fresh results, and it'll keep you building the chest at all angles and fully developing it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. I'll be making more in the future about more muscle groups. I'll go over more exercises that help, and I'll go over more methods of training that'll help you see new gains as well. So remember to like and subscribe and comment down below what you guys want to see in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.